what do you make of sort of, Revolut's, financials to the extent that we know what they are, and particularly sort of this path to profitability of Revolut versus, perhaps any of the other neobanks that we've talked about in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Revolut is such a hard one for me to put my finger on because there are these like things that all seem true kind of roughly at the same time that don't really square with each other, right? So it's like, is Revolut a really slick, well-built, by many well-liked digital banking product? Yes, right? Does it have a lot of users, both in the UK and around the world? Yes. Does it ship new products and new features really fast and is very proud of that? Yes. And so like when they report like we're growing quickly, customers are really happy, we're making more money, like the general context of that when I think about it, because sometimes I'll get those reports and I'll be like, there's no anecdotal information that would suggest that these things you're reporting are true. And in the case of Revolut, like there are things like it's a big successful neobank. And so when they say things like, yeah, we're making a lot of money, we're growing really quickly, like I have no real reason to not believe them. But then at the same time, a lot of the things you pointed out are also true, right? They'll be like, yeah, we're getting a banking charter any day now. And it's like, well, you said that 2 years ago and it's still not true. And we are like just a couple weeks behind in, publishing our financials, which in certain European jurisdictions you're required to do even if you're a private company. And then like that just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And then like, we put out our accounts, but our auditor materially disagrees with parts of our accounting statement. Well, okay, that's weird. They're like, oh, but it's not a big deal. But we also did fire our accounting firm, and now we're in this fight with them. Like, there'll be these things that happen where you're like, I don't understand what that means, but the fact that it's happening sort of makes me question everything that I thought I knew. I mean, this is a strange analogy, but it reminds me a little bit of the Schrodinger's cat thought experiment, where it's like, you have this healthy, vibrant cat where you're like, oh, this cat's great. And you put it in a box and you're like, I have no reason to think that this cat's not going to be great. But there is also this vial of poison in the box. And it's possible that that vial of poison broke. And if it did, then the cat's like super not alive. And I'm just living in this like sort of constant state of quantum uncertainty. And Revolut to me is like the version of that in fintech, where this big, interesting box, there was like this vibrant cat that's in the box. But I've also gotten sort of whispers that there might be like poison that's been released in the box. And I don't know what to make. What's in the box, Jason?
I mean, at a fundamental level, it's always interesting to me that Revolut has taken such an incredibly different tact than its UK peers. So Starling, Monzo, and the rest of them.
Yeah.
As far as, very, very aggressive geographic expansion. I mean, ridiculously aggressive geographic expansion. As well as an aggressive product feature expansion.